Okay, so I figured I'd try this out. This is the estuarine and marine deep water area right here that I've chosen. Obviously, it's not all this entirely because it's just too massive. So what I've done is I've chosen um, the tidal marsh trail. It's not well maintained anymore, and the owners are debating what they're going to do with the trail area. But the trail essentially, like, you park here behind the target, and you have a little welcome sign, and then you make your way down through all of this, and this is the trail. It gets super woodsy and super vegetated. And so first thing that I did was I went down the bank of the river right here, and it's a little bit challenging. There's a lot of loose soil, but you can get onto the bank, and there's like a little beach line that the river makes when it goes into low tide. And so this, what you see over here, this is just all reeds. And you can see like the occasional scarce common reed here and there. I have pictures to show. But along the route, I used the iSeek app, and I found common milkweed, wineberry, common yarrow, smooth stomach, common mugwort, and the reeds as well. Um, so I think these are wetland. I submitted my assignment, and so they're not all the obligated for wetland. Some of them are. Um, I forgot the acronym. Nevertheless, I made my way through all this here until I couldn't just go any further. So then I came back up, and then I used the actual trail. So went through the trail entrance, which is technically fenced off, but it got broken down by people. And I try to, make my way through the path. It still can be easily distinguished what the trail is, but it's definitely overgrown with a lot of wild vegetation. And so I made my way through all this here until you make it to this point right here, which is recognized as the freshwater emergent wetland. And I'm sure that's true. I have pictures of it. I have to kind of reflect and look at my videos and pictures just to confirm that. But this is a lot of the marshland that's reed, and this is walkable. So there's a lot of dead stems from the reeds, and they've piled up so much that it has like a little landmass here. It's really gross. It's muddy. It's wet, and I can, obviously say, yeah, that this is the marine wetland, and then this is going to be the freshwater emergent wetland. But there's not much I can really say about upland, and then this area here is pretty man influenced. There's a lot of human footprint here. So once you make your way through like the worst part of the trail, which is here, you finally get to this area where it's pretty developed, but there's a lot of shrubs. I see a lot of repeated plant types, like the common milkweed. I saw another wineberry through this area here. It opens up a lot, and then you get into the train tracks. So yeah, I ended up going back up. My wife and I went together. Just went through this, came back into the trail. Oh, and while we were at it, we saved the turtle. We think we saved the turtle because he was in this like over forested or over vegetated area, and I'm like, there's no way he's gonna make it to the water. So I put on my gloves, I picked him up, I went down this like dangerous slope, and I put him in the water. And then 2 minutes later, he disappeared into the water. So he looks like he was happy. So yeah, then come out, and that's it. So basically, like, my delineation is, I find it kind of challenging because it's too obvious. But that's why, if we zoom out, I'll also show you here that like this is all urban development. This has been construction. I used Google Earth to show me like maps from the 80s, and I think a little bit earlier than that. And this has always been construction, so there's nothing I could really compare here, nor could I go in there. All this is all the same, just reeds, and I can't get to them unless I take a kayak, but I'd have to buy a kayak. Basically, I can get a taste of what this land is through, making my way through the spot right here where I'm circling with the cursor. And so yeah, that's the estuarine and marine wetland. My other option, which is what I mentioned today in class, is just across all this commercial development is known as Peters Rock Park. Apparently it used to be a BMX park, and the map for the park has a bunch of trails, so it's easily walkable. But there's this brook here, this little river that seems to constantly be flowing. So that's why these guys right here, this freshwater emergent wetland, are able to exist. Like just thinking critically here. So then what I did was I used Google Earth and I looked at different dates because here we lose our leaves during the winter time. So in September, this is all green. You could see just a faint glimpse of the river, and everything just blends in really well. There's no real prominent distinction between this area right here, the PF01C, PF01E, and then the remaining parkland. Until you go into the further dates of satellite imagery capture, and you see like November, December. That's where all this is dead. You can see straight to the ground. There's no canopy cover, but this right here is still greener during that time of year, and I could quickly show you. So area. So right now the date stamp on this imagery is from September 2015. The brook runs down through here, and it curves back up, and it ends here. So we'll see that in perspective now. So you can see it's running through here, and then look at that. Ta-da! Coincidentally, this area is still green. And then same goes for when the brook ends up finishing its path into this end of the wetland.